Hi there, it's Lewis from Datarade, and welcome to Data Explained. Do you know right now who is ready to buy your product or service? Now imagine if you could reach out to this prospective buyer and secure the deal almost as if you read their mind. Well, with B2B intent data, this power can be yours. So what is B2B intent data? Well, it's basically any information about the willingness and the readiness of an account to buy a product or service. Looking at the common data attributes, you can see that it's any sort of signals that show this, and this core signal has three different factors. The first is the intent type. What is the account actually looking to buy? Is it a new piece of software? Perhaps it's some accounting help or some help with via a consultant. The intent strength. This is how ready the account is actually to buy the product or service. And the intent recency. How long ago was it? If it was last year, it's probably not so hot, whereas if it's this quarter, the account is probably a lot more ready and willing to be sold. And this links to how the data is actually collected. If you imagine this from a buyer's perspective, first the account is going to realize, I need a different product or service. Let's say they need some consulting. They're going to put some research in. They're going to have some people from the company look into what sort of options are available. Then they're going to move on to looking at the specific providers and the products that they have and put some research into this. And from this, you can collect data into what they're looking for and how long they've spent on the specific research. This could be signing up to webinars, signing up to newsletters, downloading white papers. All this information could be collected as they're researching. And then after this initial stage of research has happened, they can go into properly comparing the individual prices and product options of the service that they've actually decided to select. And as this goes on, you can see that the intent strength really builds. When someone gets to a comparison stage, they're really ready. And this is when it's good to reach out and make sure you've secured it. So when you're assuring the quality of your B2B intent data, it's basically just assuring that you're getting the strongest quality signal. How are the signals collected? This is to do with the technical methods during this process. Have they been in contact with a person? Are you measuring dwell time on a website, or maybe the clicks onto pages? The technical methods will determine the quality and the strength of the actual signal. How recently were the signals collected? As I mentioned, if it was last year, it's probably not so hot, whereas if it's still this quarter, or maybe even last week, you can tell that the iron is still hot, so you can go. And then finally, are the signals that you've bought going to be on the right scale for you? Scale is always important, and especially with B2B intent data, it can be hard to get data on the right scale, so make sure you've got that. And then once you've got your beautiful scale data, how are you going to use it? Well, it mostly comes down to account-based marketing. You can identify some early intent in the account and reach out at this early stage of the process to help guide them. 70% of the time, the salesperson who gets there first secures the deal. So if you reach out to the account just when they're ready, almost like you've read their mind, there's a high chance that you'll be the one to secure their purchase. Then once you've got them on board, you've got the marketing team nurturing this potential potential intent of the account, you can then prioritize them when they're hot and send your sales teams to secure the deal. And then finally, once you've got them as a customer, you've got to retain them. If you start to notice that they're looking at competitors, or maybe they're not so happy with your service, you can use this information from the intent data to make sure that you retain them. Anyway, that's been our quick overview video on B2B intent data. Be sure to leave your thoughts and comments down in the comment section below and tell us what you think about B2B intent and what you'd like to see in next week's video. I've been Lewis from Datarade, and I'll see you next time.